You ready?
Yep. First I must get a drink. Okay. Questions from OKC forum members.
Giraffe Taxi wants to know if you think there's a difference between putting a positive or negative spin on something and outright lying. If so, what's the difference?
I absolutely do think there is a difference. On a technical level, without even getting into the morality of it, there's definitely a difference. The morality of it, and I'm keeping in mind certain examples that were given, like lying to protect Jews hidden from Nazis when the Nazis ask. And I'm confronted with three things in making that decision, and it's pretty instantaneous. One is the sanctity of human life, and basically any ends to save someone from murder. Secondarily, my feelings about truth are rather developed, and I believe that the value of communication creatively but sincerely and with honesty serves one great function, and that is to help us understand each other as individuals and in turn help evolve the human species, both socially and biologically. While that truth would seem to be taking a back seat if I'm lying to Nazis about said Jews hiding in an attic somewhere, the utilitarian position would be the one that I would adopt in that situation rather instinctively, and that is the net gain of one human being's life toward the end of bringing back to the fold truth and perspective is much greater than the sum of any single given lie. And so, yeah, in certain situations, lying is morally justified. Justified from the perspective of utility, and technically positive spin and lying are technically different things. Yeah.
Billy Boy has three questions.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, what are those white trails in the sky left by the unmarked planes?
I'd have a tough time answering that. I'm sensitive to a broad spectrum of color palettes, and among those are colors deep into the ultraviolet and infrared, and those things that are supposed to be unmarked actually do have some sort of markings on them, and I really don't look really closely to see, is that an infrared spectrum, ultraviolet? But I see the numbers on unmarked lines, so I'm not sure. But the white streams, the only white streams I know of behind any aircraft are condensation streams from jets, but I don't suspect that's what you're asking about. But beyond that, I don't know.
Question number two, does the President get to visit Area 51 and see what's really going on there?
I suppose that Area 51 is just top secret, and I believe that the President has clearance to pretty much anything unless there's something treasonous going on. I might even go so far as to say if there's something improper going on there, he may be required to be complicit. If we're talking about aliens, space aliens, then I would say that our leaders probably are from their clique. So Obama's probably an alien if they're aliens at Area 51, and I'm okay with that.
Question number 3. Meteorites, megavolcanoes, global warming, genetic manipulation of crops, farm insecticides, ozone depletion, freshwater depletion, unregulated population, nuclear world war. Which will be the likely culprit in the demise of Homo sapiens?
I'd say that a lot of neighborhoods are going to succumb to one or more of these things. Cities, possibly even cultures or civilizations. It'll be cyclical, there'll be things that return, and I'd say all of them will be responsible for microcosmic, relatively speaking, demise of groups of mankind. But my optimistic and I think realistic belief is that our destiny lies beyond the confines of this planet. So the terrestrial disasters would be out for the demise of mankind. It would require something that is as grand as our expansion has been to that point. So a nova, if we've only gotten out of the solar system, but I think that would give us some time if we've gotten, out to Titan or whatever. So probably something more universal in collapse, and then you start getting into like philosophy and physics to a degree that is way beyond me. But who knows? Maybe that's not the end. But I would say earthly demise, I don't think it's in the cards for us. I think we go beyond that.
Marm's first question is, what's the best or most important thing art can do? It's a tie between two things. One is it is a relief image of something that I think is quite possibly, and if there is any such thing, then quite probably, the one telltale sign of something beyond our basic biomechanism. If there is anything that reveals a non-material aspect of humanity, it would manifest in our artistic expression. Returning to a theme that is recurrent anytime I deal with communication, and I feel art is a manner of communication. Our individuality develops while we are on these individual lives and bodies, and communication is a way to bring us, to evolve us as a whole. It's give and take, and I think that art is probably the most acute manifestation and representation of that. Do you think there are any major drawbacks to the course of our technological advancement? If so, what are they? And will advancement on the same trajectory make them better or worse?
The biggest problem with technologies is the set of hands in which it resides, which of course is all academic because those are the hands that create it. I don't think any technology is inherently good or evil, or inherently even bad, until you add the dynamic of humanity. I think that it will continue on the course that it's going. A few lapses here and there, a few bumps in the road, and I think there'll be people trying to push back in every direction for a lot of reasons. And it will continue its march, and it won't be for better or for worse. It will be for both. And eventually it's our destiny. I feel like that's asking, is humanity a good or bad thing for humanity? It is what we are.
Now the most important question of all. How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Bach. I don't know the answer to that, because like the owl, I have cheated time and time again. The only realistic approach to this is scientific. I'll keep you updated.